My name is Prince Armstrong. I will be your course instructor throughout this ICT Level 1 course, Introduction to Computer. Let's have to look at the end of this lesson, students will then understand the following. Students will understand that is what is a computer hardware, as well as what printer so far as is being what output, and then we also want to look at terminologies and also ICT groceries. So at the end of this lesson, that is what students is going to get the whole thing also far as what introduction to computer is concerned. Moving on, computer basics. To work on the computer, you should know about its various device and its functionalities. This stimulation or this course is going to take us through, is going to help you to understand the basic concept of what computer. First, let's understand what really a computer is. What is a computer? When you think about a computer is an electronic device that automatically accepts data, processes it, and brings out an output as its end result. Now, as I just said, computer can be defined in various ways as far as accepting data and processing data is concerned. Or a computer is an electronic device that accepts data, processes it, and brings out an output as its end result, as I said earlier on. And that result is known as what? Information. Okay? The computer accepts data through a process. Now, the whole idea of you knowing what really a computer is for you to then understand the way in manner the computer accepts data and process it into a meaningful information. That is the whole idea. So moving on, first, let us understand the way in manner the computer accepts data and process it into a meaningful information. So as you can see on your screen, how does the computer accept data into a process? As we said, the computer accepts data through a process. And as you can see here, for example, now let's look at an example here. Now at the end of call mass, you can see that we have a business mass, kind of like a story problem where one will read and then get to solve the problem. So let's look at that's here. So far as what we understanding the way in manner the computer accepts data and process it into a meaningful information. For example, you can see a question on the screen. As you can see, if someone offers you an amount of 25 Ghana cedis to be given to your sister in Accra, but you are not giving money for transportation. So you took 5 Ghana cedis out of the 25 Ghana cedis for transport. The question went on by asking you to calculate for the amount left. Verbally, you can equally look at this and tell me what's the amount left, because you can just look at it and tell me that you just have to subtract 5 from the 25 for it to get 20. Well, I know you can do that, but I want us to understand and see the systematical process in which the computer takes to accept data. Now, to solve this story problem, first what you need to do is that you need to then list down the data from the question. But before then, let us understand the basic concept. First, the solution here, as you can see, this is the solution. Is that first you have to list down the data from the question. Now, someone will ask, I need to understand what really a data is. One thing about data is what is a data? Now, one thing about data, a data is a raw fact that has been collected for analyzing. Okay. In other way around, one can say a data is a raw material that has been that has yet not been processed. So that is a data. Or one can also say that it is it's a raw material that is input into the computer and yet to be processed. So now you know what is a data. Don't worry, I will leave that also in your course description, where you can just see what really a data is and understand the basic concept of data. Now we know what is a data. Remember that, as I just said, first we have to list down the data from the question. Now in the question, amount was what was given, and that amount is 25 Ghana cedis. And the same question, amount was what was removed, and that amount is 5 Ghana cedis. The same question, we were being asked to then search for amount left. That we don't know, and that amount left, and that's what we are going to find. Finding the amount left, and now you have to list down the formula from the question. So the formula, as you can see here, this is the formula, which is amount given minus amount removed is equal to amount left. So we just have to go ahead and substitute in the value. So the amount given, which is 25 Ghana cedis minus amount removed, which would then give us what amount left, being what, being the 20 Ghana cedis. So the amount removed from amounts given will give us what, the 20 Ghana cedis. So as you can see the chart here, this is the way in manner the computer then process data into a meaningful information. But take note, the 20 Ghana cedis is the end result, which is known as the information. As you can see that after we subtracted the 25, okay, we subtracted the 5 from 25. Well, my 5 looked like a snake, but that's just this, by the way. After we subtracted the 5 from 25, we derive at what? At 20. Okay, that's what we do, not 26, 20. Okay, we derive at what? 20. So basically that is just that. We said the 20 here, the 20 Ghana cedis is the end result, which is known as the information, whilst the minus sign serves as the what? The processor. So the minus sign here serves as what? A processor. This means when you prove the formula wrong, your answer will be wrong. Well, garbage in, garbage out. As means my spelling of the garbage here is wrong, but you need to know it's garbage in, garbage out. Now, what am I trying to say? Supposing here we then subtract amounts, okay, amounts removed, okay, by proving the formula wrong. So amounts removed. So we are subtracting amounts given, okay. So AG. So amounts given from amounts removed. We are going to derive at what? Amounts negative amount what? Left. Are you getting it? So supposing we subtract amounts given from amounts removed, we are going to derive at what? Negative amount left. Now this brings us to something for us to this brings us to a section where you guys need to understand the way you manage the computer, what? Accept data and process it. Now remember here, when we prove the formula wrong, we will derive at a wrong answer. This means that when you are typing and you mistakenly made a typographical error, we all know that there is spelled THE, which I just let me try what I can put that. It's here. That is it. I'm good here. So there is spelled THE. When you mistakenly spelled it double T, okay, double THE, you are going to derive at the same thing. So the computer itself gives an accurate result. So it's garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you key into the computer, that is what you get at the end of what it's at the end when it's being processed. How shall I get in it? So this is the way in manner the computer process data into a meaningful information. The next thing I'd like us to look at is information. When I talk about information, what is information? Now, information says that information is the hard copy. Okay, you can see and touch. So something being a hard copy simply means that a hard copy is a printed output of a soft copy. So let's assume that what you are seeing on the screen being information and the text, it is the hard copy and whatever. So whatever you are seeing here is a text. Now becomes a soft copy. So the moment I print it out becomes a hard copy. So we can also classify that hard copy as as an information. So information is a hard copy that you can see and touch. In other words, we can say that it is the end result of data processed, or information is the process when data is meaningful. When data is being processed and it is meaningful, it is known as data. Now let me ask this. Supposing we say 4, okay, 4 plus 4. And then the computer then processed the 4 plus 4 and is telling us it's 28. Okay, was that my 8? I got it bad. 28. This means that although the computer then go ahead and process the 4 and 4, but the end result, which is known as the 28, is not an information, but therefore it is classified as what? As data. It is classified as what? Data. So basically that is just that. So not all outputs are classified or known as what? Information, but some of the outputs, because they are not meaningful, you can classify them as data, because we said information is the process when data is meaningful. So when data is meaningful, it becomes information. So basically that is just that. So as you can see, there's a garbage in, garbage out. As I said earlier on by saying that Whatever you input into the computer, that's what you are going to get. And this means what you see is what you get. This is the acronym of WYSI, and it is also the acronym of what? Garbage in, garbage out. So basically, that is just that. Now, the next thing I suggested, to work on the computer, you should know about its various devices and its functionalities. This brings us to a section of what? Input device. What about input device? So what an input device is a device that instructs, so more or less, it gives a command into the computer. And these are the example of an input device. We have the keyboard, okay, the keyboard. Okay, we also have the light pen. If you don't know light pen, you can Google it. I wanted to put the image there, but hey, you can Google it and you find out. And this is the punk. This is not punk, it's punk. It's PK. Now, punk is used to write directly on the screen. So we also have the hand scanner. Okay, the hand scanner, and we also have the memory reader, and we have the digital camera. So these are a couple of examples of input devices. You can also call the joystick also the input device. Those who play games, those who love Game Boys and games, you see that when you are playing a bird, you are shooting the bird on the screen. Such is also an example of an input device. So basically, that is so. For you to understand what really an input device is a device that explains data. So that gives a command into the computer, not explaining, but it gives a command into the computer. The next one I'd like us to then dealt with is output device. As I just said, to work on a computer, you should know about its various devices and its functionalities. Now, output device, this device is used to explain data or information from the system. An example of an output device is a laptop. Now, someone said, laptop. Let me show you something. When you have a laptop, okay, when you have a laptop and you have a desktop, okay, let me show you something here. Now, when you boot the laptop, okay, or your desktop, you can just connect the VGA cable from your system unit to the laptop. The laptop output is going to go off and then respond to the system unit. So that is why we classify the laptop as an output device. We also have the monitor. The monitor is also known as an output device. It's used to view what the system is being processed. We also have the printer. The printer is used to print out work done by the computer. We have the headset bring out sound. The speaker also bring out sound, and the projector. Those who like watching movies, you know that even institutions mostly use projectors for their presentation. So that those are all out. There are more output devices that you can go and then get to find them. So basically that is it. So these are output devices. So as you know, output devices are used to explain data or information from the system. Now, in everything, we have disadvantage and advantage. Let's talk about advantage of a computer. Let's say it is very fast, that we know. Now, for instance, you can be in Ghana here, and then you'll be then viewing or anywhere in the country, and then begin to access information, whatever is going on in Ukraine, whatever is going on in Russia, whatever is going on in US. So it is very fast. And also here, way back in Ghana here, you can see that if you want to then send information to someone, you, the person, have to write a letter, and that letter, when you even post it on Monday, the person will not get it during the week, because they always post the letters on Fridays. So Fridays, that's where they will just send the letter. So the person will get the letter the next week, which with the help of the computer, just a click, when you have an email and you have the person's email, you can just send an email with just a second. The person will just receive that information. So it's very fast. Let's come to it saves space. Okay, that is, it saves space. When they say the computer saves space, for instance, way back in New Crystal Hospital were into this flat file system, where they have a particular room where they use that for a folder room. Now they've moved to electronic database, where they use the computer to keep tracks of the OPD records. So the room that is being used for a folder room is now used as a ward, so it has safe space. Now when you also go back to our shops and also our mats, you can see that way back they use a notebook to keep tracks of their inventory. But with the help of the computer, it has saved space. They don't have to use a notebook to do all that anymore, and that is what it's mean by saving space. Now let's come to what we have. Let's say what it's very accurate that I said earlier on, that when you are typing and you mistakenly made a typographical error, there is spelled THE. When you mistakenly spelled it double THE, you are going to derive at what? A wrong answer. So the computer itself gives accurate results. Like remember with school replacement, you expect the person is a boy and the computer then replace the person in a girl's school. People say it is a computer error. It's never the computer error. Whatever you feed into or whatever you want input into the computer, that is what the computer gives. So when you are entering the code, the school selection code, and the code in which you entered is a wrong code, it's going to place the person at what? At, how do you call it, a girl's school, while the person is a boy. So more or less the computer is very accurate, or let the computer is malfunction. So basically that's what I want you guys to understand, that the computer, then what, garbage in, garbage, whatever you key into the computer, that's what you're going to get. Let's come to what we have. It serves as information link. Okay, that is the fourth one. It serves as information link. As I just said, now you can just be here in Ghana here, and then wherever you are over the world, maybe Nigeria or whatever, you can just be there and then be viewing whatever that is going on, reading stories about whatever is going on in US, Canada, France, and so on and so forth. So that is another information. And also with the help of the internet, you can just also be at, how do you call it, whatever you are, and then be reading whatever that is going on in Accra, whatever that is going on in Tema, whatever that is going on in all over the world. So it serves as information link and so on and so forth. The next thing I'd like us to then deal with is what it is. It serves as entertainment ground. Now most of us then use their computer to entertain ourselves. Some people use it to watch movie. Some people also use their computer to then play games and so on and so forth. So basically that is just that. So, and again also it creates employment. Yes, with the help of the computer you can be employed. You can fit in any organization to exploit whatever you want to exploit. Let's assume that you're an accountant, and as an accountant you cannot even you cannot even use Excel to create an income statement, or even to create a payroll, or even to create even financial statement. Fitting an organization, you may find yourself wanting, unless you hire someone who is IT inclined, so far Excel is concerned, to help you with that. So when you are computer literate, it help you to be employed, and also it help you to exploit, so far as employment is concerned. Now let me touch on something here so far as employment is concerned. Now with the help of the computer, let's say you're a graphic designer, you can sign up in Fiverr to be a freelancer. Though if society make you jobless, you can also make one for yourself with the help of the computer. So basically that is just that. The next one I'd like us to look at disadvantage of a computer. They said it creates unemployment. Now understanding of this simply means that what would take 1,000 or 10 or 5 or 7 people to do, with the help of the computer you just need only one person. So what about the rest of the 6? You see? So not only that, and again also, if you are not IT inclined, you may find yourself wanting. So far as now we are now in the digital age, so you may find yourself wanting, you can't fit in most of the organizations. So this is what it meant by it creates unemployment. Then let's come to what we have. It is very accurate. Oh, sorry, it is very expensive. The computer is very, very expensive now. Now, if you want to buy a computer, the home use alone is 1,150, depending on the specs of the machine. If you want to buy a brand new laptop now, if you're not holding 5,000 or 7,000 or 12,500, I doubt you can get it. So basically, that is just that. Let's come to the third one. Says that it makes one to be lazy. Want to buy a computer makes one to be lazy. Not that you've eaten fufu, or maybe you've eaten and you're feeling down, sitting beside the computer, feeling down means laziness. No, that's what we're talking about. Let's assume that you are being assigned, or you are being given a project or assignment to go to the library to read, to extract, and also get understanding, to have more understanding of whatever you've read. But with the help of the internet, just go to the computer, or just go to the internet, just Google, copy whatever is there without you reading, and just send it to whoever you want to send it to, your instructor. So that's what make you want to be lazy. Another aspect of making one to be lazy is that let's assume that you've gone to the market to buy tomatoes, and the tomatoes is sell, let's say 50 pesos, 0.50 pesos, and you are buying, let's say 100 pieces. Now instead of you calculating in your head, you just have to pull your phone and just do, let's say 50 pesos times 100, or 100 times 50 pesos to get the answer. So it's refusing to use the mind to perform other serial tasks. That is what it means by making one to be lazy. The fourth one talks about lack of electricity make it useless. Now, the computer itself is an electronic device. So without electricity, the computer cannot function or it is useless. So that's what it means by lack of electricity makes you. So without light, the computer is useless. It cannot be useful. So this brings us to the disadvantage of the end of the disadvantage of a computer. Moving on, let's look at types of computers. There are three types of computers. They are analog computer, digital computer, and hybrid computer. Let's look at them one after the other. First, let's talk about what analog computer. We want to talk about analog computer. These computers uses line pointers and bars to represent data and information. An example of this analog computer, we have the speedometer. Like for instance, way back now, we thank God for digital speedometers. When you are driving your vehicle, you see that the digits will be moving. But way back when you're driving your vehicle, it's moved like the whole thing is something like this, and there's a bar here, and the bar will moving, and then when it's moved, like you're moving 60 degrees Celsius age, so it's moving. So that becomes an analog computer. We also have the thermometer way back. Well, thermometer, we thank God for digital thermometer. The thermometer, for instance, way back, we have thermometer like this. There's a mercury in it where we have, come think of it, like 90 degrees is there. And then we also have another one. We have, let's say, 80 degrees. I'm just saying 80 degrees and do. So when they put the thermometer in your armpit, and then and maybe the doctor wants to check your temperature. So in point of time, you can say that when they put in your armpit, in point of time, you can say that the mercury will just move to maybe 90 degrees Celsius. Then the doctor will just move it, and that will tell the doctor your water temperature. Then we also have the wristwatch, which is the engine also, of course, and it's also uses bars. So for instance, let me demonstrate here for you to see. So this is here, and we have here, and we have there, and we have this there. So this becomes like, let's say this is 12, and since this will be is it here 3? I'm not too sure. And here is 6, and here will be 9. So when the long bar goes to 12 and the short bar goes to 9, you see it is the line pointers, and then the line pointers and the bars are giving you the information regardless to the clock and the time. So basically that is it. So this becomes an analog computer. Now let's talk about something here. So what analog by means variation of electrical voltage proportion to physical variable. This means that the wall clock itself is an electronic valve, but it works with the physical component, which is the body, before it can function. For instance, the thermometer is also an electronic valve. It works with the physical body before it can function. So that's what it means by analog by means by variation of electrical voltage proportion to a physical variable. So basically, that is just that. The next one I'd like us to delve straight is called digital computer. They said this uses alphabets and numbers to represent data and information. An example is the calculator and the digital watch. And we also have the scientific calculator where we can find the tan theta, the cos theta. So this uses alphabets and numbers to represent data and information. So basically, that is just that. Now let's come to hybrid computer. When we talk about hybrid computer, these type of computers combine the features of both analog and digital, properties or features. And these computers also work very fast. Now let me shock you. Now, for you to better understand the mainframe, microcomputers, and so on and so forth, any computer that is having a programming flexibility and a memory capability is a hybrid computer. That can perform more than one task at a time. It's a hybrid computer. So where we have the desktop computer, we also have the tower, we also have the laptop, the mainframe. These are all hybrid computers. They are having a memory capability and a programming flexibility, as I just said here. Note, having a memory capability and a programming flexibility, you can program it, and you can also they are also having a memory also as well. Your mobile phone is also a hybrid computer because it uses a microchip processor and can perform more than one task at a time. So basically, that is just that. Now, this also brings us into classification of computer. Now, as indeed I'm being your extractor, as I'm extracting you now, you also listening and watching, they can classify us based on type, so far as gender is concerned, male or female. So the computer is classified in what analog digital type, which is analog digital, and what and hybrid. Again, they can also classify us in purpose. That is our capability. Sorry, our purpose. For me and you, some of the computers can be used to perform a special purpose. Some also can be used to perform a general purpose. For instance, the ATM machine, the automatic teller machine, it is designed to perform what a specific purpose, whilst the microcomputers and also the desktop computers and so on and so forth, the mainframe and so on, can perform what a general purpose. You can use it to perform any general purpose that you want. That maybe to type, print, play music, and so on and so forth. So that's what is meant by purpose. Some computers are designed to perform a specific task, and some also are designed to perform general purpose. So not only the automatic teller machine, you can, for special purpose computers, we also have the MP3 player, also perform a specific purpose, and so on and so forth. Let's come to capability. In terms of capability, they bring us to me and you. For me, when I eat 5 balls of kinky a day, I'm okay. I'm just doubting. You can also eat 1 box of kinky a day, you are okay. That is your capability. So capability, for instance, we have the mainframe. The mainframe is capable of processing more than 256 attacks at a time, or information at a time. We also have the mini-frame. The mini-frame is after the mainframe. We also have the microcomputer. The way in manner the mainframe process information, that is not the way in manner the mini-frame also perform its information. And the way in manner the microcomputer also process its information, that is not how the mini and the mainframe process its information. So all these computers they are having their special capabilities. I sure you are getting it. So basically that is the fourth one also talks about what generations. Now the first generation, they discovered something we call electronic valve, and that electronic valve was introduced at the second generation. That was in 1950s. It's just like, let's assume that I have a wedding tomorrow, and I just got my suit today. So the day I got the suit was the day I discovered the suit. So tomorrow, being the wedding day that I will be putting on the suit, was the day the suit was introduced. I sure I get it. So that's what happened at the first generation. What they discovered was electronic valve. I will classify the electronic valve as power pack, and it was introduced in the second generation, which was in 1950s. So the generation, and then the third generation, what they discovered was the large-scale integrated circuit. Now every house have a circuit breaker. So in a computer also, in the power pack, have a circuit breaker. When there is a bridge, in case there's negative and positive bridge, or positive is bridging, the integrated circuit will blow to prevent the components in the system from damaging. So basically that is just that. This brings us to the fourth generation. The fourth generation, they discovered the large-scale integrated circuit. The large-scale integrated circuit. Now, in applied electricity, the longer the cable, the shorter the current. Okay, the longer the cable, the shorter the current. The shorter the current, the higher the shorter the current. So the shorter the cable, the higher the current. So this tells us that in the power pack, we have some couple of transformers that gather current and distribute to the various components in the system. And that was discovered in the fourth generation. That was in 1970s. Then we have the fifth generation, that they discovered something we call transistors. Well, we call about the transistors, and also the transistor. For instance, in Ghana here, our voltage is 240 volts. Okay, which is equivalent to which 230 is equivalent to. But when you go to Japan, it's the US is 115 volts. Japan and other nations, we also have 110 volts. So here at the back of the machine, which is the power pack, we have a switch where we use to switch in between these volts. When the machine is from outside and it's here, we just have to turn off the switch to maybe 230, and then because our voltage is 240, which is equivalent to 240, and we just plug it and start using. And after today, most of the system have those features. So basically, that is just that. And next thing we're looking at is hardware. What about hardware itself? These are the physical components or devices that make up the system. The hardware of a computer are the central parts of the CPU or hooked to the CPU. Now, what about hooked to the CPU? For instance, the keyboard. The keyboard is an input device. It's connected to the CPU, so it is hooked to the CPU. And then we also have the mouse, also a hardware device, also hooked to the CPU. The printer is also an output device hooked to the CPU. The monitor or is also hooked to the CPU. Also the processing device, which are inside the system, which is the processor, the auxiliary storage device. These are all hardware devices. Now, this brings us to something called printers. What about printers? What are printers? Sir, I'm learning a computer information communication technology level 1. What do I need to know about printer? Now, understanding the printers, that help you to better understand something called bits and bytes. There are 3 types of printers. There are 3 types of printers, namely, we have the character printers, and then the line printers, and then the page printer. Let me talk about the character printer, which is this. The character printer, okay, they print 1 character at a time. Character printers print 1 character at a time. And example of a character printer is a what? It's a typewriter. The typewriter is example of a character printer. You can see that when printing, it is noisy when printing, and it prints 1 character at a time. This also brings us to the line printer. The line printers print a whole line at a time. An example of a line printer, we can say the LaserJet. Some of the LaserJet print 1 line. It goes like 1 line. It goes like 1 line at a time, 1 line at a time, 1 line at a time, 1 line in that manner. So that becomes the line printers. We also have a page printer. Example of a page printer. So this type of page printer, they print a whole page at a time. Example, I can say there was the terminal printer, the one they used to print the receipts printer, and also the photocopy machine. They go and stuff. So that's the page printers. Now let's look at the mode of printing. What about mode of printing? Method of producing print. That's what I wanted to understand. Method of producing print. We have impact printers. They print by writing inked. So example of that is the typewriter. Rules 1 against paper, so the typewriter. And they are noisy when printing, so that's the typewriter. We also have the non-impact printers. The non-impact printers are the LaserJets. They say that they print by using terminals or electrostatic method of printing, which they uses electricity to print. We also have the smart printers. The smart printers, they print each character symbol as an original typewriter. Okay, so they are kind of like black and white printers. Then we also have the dot matrix printers. They produce or they print each character by printing appropriate combination. So this become the color printer that print black and white and print color combination, okay, and so on and so forth. So basically that is just that. So the impact printers are the typewriter, and then the non-impact printers are the LaserJet. The smart printers are also LaserJet, some of the LaserJet printers like Kano printers, and we also have the dot matrix printers. These are also the color printers that print both black and white and so on and so forth. Let's come to speed of printing. We have the low speed printer. They are usually character per second to approximately 300 lines per minute. Okay, which means that some of the printers print 100 to 300 lines per minute. An example of these are the matrix printers. Now let me explain something for you to understand. Now, for instance, when you see this, this is my A4 sheet, and I've typed something like the boy is going to school. How the boy is going to school? Kwame Shata told the boy that why are you going to school? On his way going to school, and blah 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 blah. So let's say the lines are just whatever I've typed here. From here to here, let's say from here to here is the 300 lines, or 100 to 300 lines. So when you issue a command print, the printer is going to print these characters on one page, and this very one will be cut to the next page. So most printers print approximately 300 to 100 to 300 characters per second. So if you're going to buy a printer, you need to check how this is being done. And at the end of this lesson, I'm going to show you how that is being done. We also have the line printers. They said they are what impact shape character printers, which what prints a whole line at a time. Example is the chain printers and the band printers. We also have the page printer. They said it prints an image of a whole page at a time. The image may consist of what conventional printing. An example of this can be a diagram, pictures, or etc. A typical example of this is the lesser printer. This is X, it's not S, it's lesser printer. So basically, that is just that. Now, this brings us to the end of today's lesson.